Hello and welcome to this, the first in our sessions of musicianship for singers in male voice choirs. We've been a bit frustrated, as I'm sure you have, recently, in not being able to sing together. And although it's lovely to meet up every week and see everyone, it's not quite the same as singing. One of the things we've been doing is trying to build our musical knowledge and our musicianship so that when we do get back together, we will sing with greater understanding of the music in front of us. And we thought it'd be nice to share that with you. So each week we're meeting and learning different aspects of musicality, and then trying to find places in the music that we sing where these things are used. So we're using the staple male voice repertoire to underpin our learning of these different musical aspects. So we really hope you enjoy our sessions. We will be posting every Wednesday. If you do like us, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And we hope to see you soon, every Wednesday. Okay? So I'm just going to introduce you now to the group. Well, I'm not going to introduce you. They're going to introduce themselves. So we'll just go around now. We'll start with Mr. Besson.
Hi, I'm Jim. I've enjoyed singing all my life, from being a voice soprano to singing around the campfire as a scout leader. I'm a founder member of the South Notts Men's Chorus. Started off in the tenor section, but I've subsequently found out that I'm more suited to being a bass. My musician knowledge is very limited, and I hope to gain some insight from these sessions.
Grill. So do I. I hope you do too. So, Russell, let's have you next.
Hi, I'm Russell. I'm a top tenor. Very little musical training. Played the piano and trumpet when I was in school, but I've forgotten all of that now. I used to sing in the school choir, then nothing until about 10 years ago when I joined a male voice choir, and I've really enjoyed every minute since.
Great. See, he's got to say that, though, hasn't he, really? Bless him. Can't say much else. Let's go then to Howard next.
Hello, I'm Howard. I am a member of the bass section. At 65 years of age, I have never played a musical instrument or had any musical training whatsoever. I've been in male voice choirs for 7 years now and gradually built up some understanding of musical notation. I'm looking forward to these sessions to give me a greater understanding of musical theory and put some building blocks that I can expand from and hopefully enjoy my music even more.
Fabulous. That's a perfect answer. Well done. Chris.
Hello, my name's Chris. I sing bottom bass with South Notts Men's Chorus. I did do a little bit of music at school. I played the clarinet and I plugged my way through the grade system. But when I left school, I left that in the box until I picked up a bit of music about 3 years ago when Russell, who's just spoken, twisted my arm to join the South Notts Men's Chorus. And I've loved it ever since. I've taken a few lessons and I've even taken interest in doing some singing exams, which really give you a bit of an adrenaline rush. So thoroughly enjoying myself. Thanks.
Brilliant. And finally, John.
Hi, I'm John. I'm the second tenor. I can't play a musical instrument. I came to choral music quite late in life. I didn't join a choir until after I retired, but I've really enjoyed not just the singing, but also the comradeship that we get in a male voice choir.
Fabulous. I'm sure you can all experience all of those thoughts and feelings that everyone's expressed. So we're going to start tonight looking at harmony, which seems a bit odd that we're going to be looking at harmony, but it will make sense in a couple of weeks' time. So if you stick with it, this will give you a whole new world of information that you've probably never noticed before. So we're going to look tonight at, first of all, triads. So if I just open up this screen for you. Now, as we are all probably aware, most music is made up of a tune and some sort of accompaniment, some sort of harmony in the background. We have a melody in the top, and then we have an accompaniment underneath made of chords. Now, the chords are absolutely fundamental to any sort of accompaniment, and it's the stuff that mainly is sung by basses, baritones, and tenor twos. And obviously tenor ones often have the tune. So we're just going to look at how those things are formed. We do need a little bit of a knowledge of keys, and we're just going to start without looking too much at keys at the minute. We're just going to start in C major. So C major is every note in the scale: C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Obviously we know in music, once we get to that G note, we then repeat the letters of the alphabet, but A, B, C again. We just need to recognise that each one of those has its own property. So there's the scale. C, we're going to label as number 1. Can you see? And then 2 is D and E, and so on and so forth. So they're the notes, they're the numbers that we give when we talk about chords. And a chord normally is made up of 3 notes. If it's 2 notes, it's not a chord. It only becomes a chord when it's 3. So that would be the chord of C. We know that because the bottom note is C. And this is where it's really important to understand the bass line. The bass normally has the bottom note of each of these chords. So in this instance, because it's chord 1, it's the chord of C, a note of C in the bass. Primary triads are these. These are the most important 3 chords in any scale. So the notes built on the first note of the scale, the 4th note of the scale, and the 5th note of the scale. Now, they're called primary triads because they are the building blocks of any note. So let's go through now and you'll see what I mean. So if we know that chord 1 is based on C, if you look at the ordering of these notes, we've got play 1, miss 1, play 1, miss 1, play 1, and that gives us the 3 notes. And if you think about it, it's like playing a chord with your hands. So you play a note, miss a note, play a note, miss a note, play a note, and that gives you your 3 fingers for your chord. So if we know that chord 1 is C, miss 1, E, miss 1, G, what is chord 4, please?
F.
Miss 1.
Miss 1, A, miss 1, C.
Brilliant. Miss 1, A, miss 1, C. And chord 5, based on the 5th note of the scale, is what?
G, B, and D.
Good, D. So obviously we run out there, look, of the scale, but we just go to the next one, which is just there. So C, G, B, and D. The reason these are known as the primary triads, a bit like the primary colours in art, is that every single note of the scale can be harmonised, will sound okay with one of those primary triads. So when I say it sounds okay, you'll see what I mean. For example, if I play this note, but then play this chord against it, it's not very nice. It's what we call discordant. In music, every single one of these will fit every single one of those. So watch. C. Now, what chord or chords will sound nice with C? Well, clearly the notes, the chords that have got a C within it. So chord 1 and 4. So here's a C, and here's the chord of C. Here's a C, and here's the chord of F. It sounds fine. There's no scrunch or nasty discord. The next note, D. So we're going up the scale. Which chord sounds nice with D?
5.
E.
1.
4.
G.
1 and
1
5.
or 5.
1 and 5. A.
4.
4.
B.
5.
5.
And C. 1 and 4 again.
Back to 1.
4 again.
Yeah, so do you get the idea? If we want something to sound concordant, so pleasant sounding, every single note within the scale of the key that you're in, so in this instance we're in C major, will fit with one of those chords. And that's why they're called the primary triads, because They are fundamental to the key we're in to make us feel happy in that key. So just like every other colour in the spectrum can be created out of the primary colours, the primary triads will harmonise any note within your scale. We do have a few rules. For example, you may know this already, when we get to the end of a piece of music, we always have a what? Okay,
Cadence.
a cadence, good. So a cadence is like a comma, so that would be an unfinished cadence, or a full stop, a finished cadence. So let's just now talk about the finished cadences. Now there are 2 finished cadences, which are, does anybody know?
Perfect.
Perfect. You know what chords they are?
Dominant to tonic.
Dominant to tonic, which is chord 5 to
1.
Brilliant. And the other one?
Plagal.
Plagal, which is also known as the what?
Amen.
The Amen.
The Amen cadence. Well done. So in the bass, in a 5 to 1 cadence, what's the bass going to sing?
G to C.
G to C. 5, 1. So there's a perfect cadence, and it's as finished as you can get. In a plagal cadence, obviously it's 4 to 1. So what's the bass notes going to be now, please?
F to C.
Yeah, and
C.
listen. You can hear that, can't you? So we get the plagal cadence as well. Now they are finished, so they're like full stops. And we're going to remember that when we get to this one to that one, the last 2 chords. So let's go through now and let's just write which chords we're going to have below these notes. Now there will be occasions, of course, where we can use either or with these chords. When that happens, as musicians, what we need to do is to listen to it and work out which one we like the best. Always have to play it in sequence, one after the other, so we know what's coming before it. Otherwise, I mean, any chord will sound fine, but it depends what comes before and after it as to whether it's really fine or not. So let's go from the beginning then. It's the beginning of the piece of music. What have we really got to have?
1.
1.
Yeah, we've got to have chord 1. So let's pop that in there. C, miss 1, E, miss 1, G. All cows eat grass. Brilliant. So there's chord 1. We've got a D. We only have one option. What are we going to have?
5.
5.
George Bush died. E,
1.
C, E, G. And then we've got another C.
We'll go to 4 if you want.
4.
Yeah, so we've got an option. So let's play it. We've got 1, 5, 1 something. So it's going to be 1, 5, 1, 1 or 1, 5, 1, 4. So let's try the 2. So here we go. 1, 5, 1, 1. That sounds fine. And now 1, 5, 1, 4. 1, 5, 1, 4. Which you prefer?
4.
4. Why?
Second one.
Yeah, why?
It sounds
Takes
better.
you towards the end.
Yes, it's got direction, hasn't it? Whereas the other one's too static. Excellent. F, A, C. George Bush died for America, middle C. Next bar.
5.
Yeah, got to be. Followed by.
Is it 5 again?
5.
Got to be, yeah. Let's do that one because it's near that F. All cows eat grass, B and D. I'll do your minim because we've got 2 notes the same. Next, F and A. Got to be.
4.
4.
Got to be a
4.
4.
And finally.
4 again.
4 again.
Could be, or it could be 1.
Be 1.
So let's try both. I mean, I know which one I think it's got to be to me, but let's try both and you'll know why. So this is from the beginning. 1, 5, 1, 4, 5, 4, 4. Does that feel finished?
No.
Okay, let's try again. Does that feel finished?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's got to be a 1, hasn't it?
Yeah, 1.
And obviously that is our plagal cadence 4 to 1. So there you go. That's it, nothing particularly fancy about it. But what you must remember is these notes, the harmonising ones above, the middle one and the top one each time, the third and the fifth each time. It doesn't really matter where they go. But at the minute, this note here, the root of the chord, the note that the chord grows out of, must be in the bass line. But the bass must have the root. So in the primary triads, the bottom note is the root, the middle note is the third. Why? Well, because it's a third above, C, D, E. And the top note is the fifth. Why is it the fifth? C, D, E, F, G. So it's just the difference from the root to the other two notes. So the root must be in the bass, the third must be anywhere else, and the fifth can be anywhere else. Everybody happy with that?
And Victoria, you gave those 2 beats. You didn't repeat the chord. Any reason?
No, not really. Just that I just thought it was getting a bit ploddy. So what we would say is that's my personal choice, yeah. But if you look at it, for me, what we see is that as we get towards the end of the line, and therefore the cadence, the end of the piece, the harmony slows down as well as the rhythm getting longer. So it makes it feel as if it's coming to an end. So if you look at the first bar, we've got a chord per note. Next bar, the harmony becomes minims, and then we finish. So actually, that slowing down of the harmonic change also makes it feel more calm and rested so that we can cadence properly. So it is, I mean, we couldn't do anything anyway, because ironically those 2 notes, both were only in 1 chord. But even if they hadn't have been, it's sometimes quite nice to slow that harmony down towards it. It doesn't always happen, but quite often you'll see that. Everybody happy with that?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so let's go on now then to look at the passing and auxiliary notes. Once you have decided upon your chords, we can then start to do something a bit more exciting with the harmony. Now, this is useful for us as singers to know, because at the minute we're just going to look at what we call normal passing notes and normal auxiliary notes. But these can be called accentor passing notes and appoggiaturas, which are similar but different, and we'll look at them in the coming weeks. And when we get those, when we're singing them, quite often we want to make slightly more of them, because the composer has made a deliberate decision to create a discord, a dissonance for some reason. So if we understand this, when we then find this not happening, but something's the same but slightly tweaked, we can really show that in the way that we put over the music to our audiences. So although at the minute this sort of feels a bit elementary, what's the point of it? You'll see why in a couple of weeks. Before we start, we're in a new key. We're in G major. We will look at key signatures next week. But just for now, just take my word for it. Therefore, our scale has changed. We've got an F sharp, so we just go up the alphabet in order of lettering. So let's do that now and just write them in. First of all, what is the scale, please, starting at G?
G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G.
Can't get my sharp on. Yeah, brilliant. So there's your scale: C, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. So that's just to help you, just to remind you the order that they come in. So chord 1 is the first note. There it is. So chord 1 is G, miss 1, B, miss 1, D. What's chord 4, please, in G major? 1.
C.
Miss 1.
E,
F, E,
G.
G, C, G. And chord 5?
D, F sharp,
Sharp, A.
A.
Brilliant. Okay. This first bar, all I want is the chord of G. For those first 2, I just want the chord of G. We're going to change the chord there. But for these first 2 notes, they are both G, every good boy. So the G and B are both in chord 1, and there it is. Because they are what we call a third apart, G, A, B. They're a third apart. What we can do is, on the note in between, we can pop what's known as a passing note. The strongest beats are beats 1, 2, 3, and 4. Obviously, that's 1 and a half. Well, a half. That's, yeah. So that is in the key of G, the chord of G, sorry. That is in the chord of G. And that one is just a note that passes in between the two. So we've got a note with a line going through it that's in the chord, a note with a line going through it that's in the chord, and we quickly pass off that one and up to the next one. And what that does is this. So instead of it being, we get, it's not world beating, but it just gives that little bit of movement in the melody line without interfering with the chords and making it discordant and all a bit weird. So if we then go on to this one, we've got C and an A. C and then an A. So what chord have we got to have there then, please?
4.
4.
And what goes with A?
5.
5.
Okay, so let's leave those two. We again can have a passing note here. We've got a space, we've got another space adjacent, and we can pop in between the note with a line going through it, just to run down to that one there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there's the note, it's in that chord, chord 4. We're going to use a little passing note on the half beat to move down to that one, and it's accompanied by that one there. So every time we get to the beat, we have a note that goes with the chord. I'll just play you what it was before. It's a bit difficult to hear on this keyboard to differentiate, so I'll try and sing it as well. Now I'm going to put the passing notes in. You feel it's just got a little bit more lyricism to it?
Yeah.
It's a bit more tilting. So that's a passing note. A passing note goes from two adjacent lines and fills in a space, or two adjacent spaces and fills in with a line. Now they can go up and they can come down, but they must be neighbour notes. So letters that are next to each other, not a big leap. Auxiliary notes, there are two types, and what you're looking for with an auxiliary note is not notes that are lines apart. You're looking for identical notes, so the same note twice. And then what you can do is you can sort of wobble either side of it. So for example, this is what we call a lower auxiliary note. So there's the actual note. We've got the chord of G, and I'm going to the note below and back up again. So we'll have G all in that bar. Now there's a note, there's the identical note, there's the note below. And again, it's line to line and space between. I'm going to do an upper auxiliary now, line to line, and I'm going to go to the space above. Line to line, space above. Can you see what I've done? Note, note below, note, note, note above, note. But on the main beats of the bar, 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all in that chord. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, so let's see if we can spot then either passing and auxiliary notes in this little bit here. Okay. Does anybody want to hazard a guess? Give me a bar and a beat number and tell me what you could pop in there.
Bar 4, second note, which is a C. Takes you from the D down to the B.
Good, and what's that?
Passing note.
Good, that's a passing note, so we've got a passing note in there. Can anybody tell me where you can put in a passing or auxiliary note?
Could you put an auxiliary note in the first note where you've got two notes the same there in the bar 3?
Bar 3, there, yes. Now I've got two notes the same. What are we going to do next?
you could put a note either slightly one up or down from there. So those notes are
Good.
B.
So
So you could put an A or a C in.
Let's pop a C in there then. Brilliant. So there we go. The note, the note, the note above. We've put an upper auxiliary. Well spotted. Any more? Any more anywhere else? There's loads more.
In bar 3, can you put a passing note between the first and the second notes?
Yes. So we'll turn that. Tell me what to do.
Turn the... Ooh, you've just changed
I've just
it.
done it. I know. I've just bored.
Not quick enough. You can stick an A in there.
Brilliant. Okay. Any more? Anything else?
Well, in bar 5, you could put auxiliary notes between all 4.
Okay. So tell me where to go then, John. Upper or lower?
Try lower first,
Then?
and then upper, and lower again.
Yeah. That's quite nice because that's sort of, you get a little bit of a repetition going on there, don't you? Any more? I can see 1, 2, 3 more places.
You can stick another passing note in the first bar between 3 and 4.
Yeah.
There.
Passing note. Excellent. Anywhere else?
Auxiliary note in the final notes in bar 5.
Yeah, well done. Upper or lower?
Let's go upper.
Excellent. There's one more, but it's really cheeky and hidden.
Well, at the end of bar 4, could you put in, let's say, an A after the...
Good. Well done, John. So what have I got to do rhythmically, though? Because I'm not going to put a quaver in, have I? What am I going to change that into?
Crotchet there.
Yes. Look at that. Passing note. Ooh, fabulous. So what I'll do now is I'll play it how it was without the passing and auxiliary notes, and then I'll play it with the passing and auxiliary notes, and you'll hear a difference. So here we go. And with the passing and auxiliaries. What a difference.
Nice. Sounds like Watch with Mother.
I love the fact that we've got a little repetition in that bar. It was nicely done. So you can see how it starts to bring a melody alive, but we need to understand that we can't just randomly pop these alien notes in. We have to look at the harmony, and the harmony is the thing that dictates everything. So once we know about these primary triads and we know about cadences and harmony, it starts to make the notes we sing make more sense. But that's fairly straightforward, isn't it? Everybody happy with that?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. Anybody, any questions then before we finish tonight? Oh, marvellous. So next time what we'll do, we will look at inversions, and we'll start to look at a couple of other things to do with harmony, and we'll look at Monte Cristi. When we do a little bit of an analysis of Monte Cristi harmony at the start. So if you want to have Monte Cristi next time we come together, that would be brilliant, and we can look at the first couple of bars of that and see if we can do some proper harmonic analysis. The excitement. Thank you all so much. Say again.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Okay, good night.
Bye.
Bye.